George Groves claiming that Eddie and Frank could be driven out of boxing says him. He goes on to say, he says, um, Turkey al-Sheikh with Riyadh season is taking control of the sport, securing fights like Fury versus Usyk, Beterbiev versus Bivol, plus launching a new league with Dana White. Groves believes the old guard may struggle to compete even after their 5 versus 5 event where Warren dominated Hearn's 5-0. The question remains, are boxing's biggest promoters losing their grip on the sport? And that's the question that George Groves has. And let me counterpunch. I think it does put you in the mind of worry or something at risk based on all the fights that we saw lately. You know, you think about it, since late 23, we've seen a wave of fights that we've never would have probably saw. It took years for fights to not happen, and they still didn't happen until Turkey came on the scene. You know what I mean? And, you know, Usyk, Fury, 1, 2, you know, Joshua Wilder, that would have happened if Wilder wouldn't have lost. If you know what I'm saying? Those fights would have actually happened because Turkey was making them happen. It's just certain fights you have no control of happening due to someone else losing, okay? You know, like Tyson AJ was on the table. And it makes you think, like, well, does George have a point with Turkey al-Sheikh making all these fights, and he's the reason for all these fights? Will he run Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren out of business? And the answer is absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you why. The boxing league, the pay scale is trash. It is. It's nothing comparable to what these fighters get. Their signing bonuses, the pay-per-view upside. They don't get any of that on the boxing league. They talked about none of that. They talked about straight salary pay on a set scale with Dana White. Dana White, with his UFC fighters, they don't compare to boxers in their boxing salaries. They just don't. The fight purses that boxers make normally from the alphabet people, from the networks, from the promotional companies are bigger than, are better than these. Let's just be real. They are. They're better than what we saw. Had they been comparable, George Groves might have had a point, because Turkey al-Sheikh did come in and he did make a lot of groundbreaking fights and involve these promoters with it. And then you start really asking, what'll happen if he decided, you know what, screw the promoters? Well, for one, I think the promoters would retaliate and try to sue Turkey al-Sheikh with Riyadh season based on what he was attempting to try if he was going to take control. I think the boxing league is a cheap way of trying to compete with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, and I don't think it's going to work because loyalty is a mother sucker. Frank's on top. Eddie's doing pretty good. Ben Shalom, he's in there somewhere with a couple fighters, you know. But nonetheless, though, I don't see Turkey al-Sheikh just taking over boxing. I don't. Because if he was trying to take over boxing, he would have stayed out of the boxing league, let Dana White have control of that and see how that goes with him, and then stayed where he was, kind of the middleman and the negotiator, the man with the money, you know, and made all the fights happen. That would probably be better for me if he was going to take over in the sport of boxing. You see what I'm saying? I don't really think that he's about that, or he's trying to do that. I think he loves boxing, and I don't think he's trying to run Eddie and Frank out. Now, I will say this. As far as Frank and Eddie go, I think they felt they had to come together. And because, see, together they're stronger, but divided they could probably be conquered. Because, you know, I think they just decided, hey, you know what, it's better to work together. You know, because we have Turkey al-Sheikh, and with his dominance and with his tempting offers that he offers these fighters, you know, it's hard to turn down $4 or $5 million. Hey, we'll give you $4 million. You know, you're gonna fight. Hell yeah, you're gonna fight for $4 million. I would fight for $4 million, and I'm not even in boxing shape. You'll call me he'll call me, Deville, will you come to fight in our card? You get $4 million. Come, brother. And alhamdulillah, I'll see you in 2 days. I'm gonna be on the next plane smoking, jet lag and all. I'm gonna come all there. Yeah, I might get my face knocked off, but at the same time, I'm coming to get that cash. So saying all that to say this, people, those fight purses are very, very tempting, but they are opposite of what he's offering in the boxing league. So I don't see how the boxing league could compete with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, because all they have to do is offer more money to stay where they are with the alphabet or the sanctioning bodies. You see what I mean? So yeah, though if those fight purses from the boxing league were comparable, he might have had a point again. But they're not. I don't see anything threatening about the boxing league. I am curious on who wants to join the damn thing and leave their rankings from the WBA, the WBO, the IBF, the WBC, the IBO, and all of these above. But you guys tell me what you think of George Grove predicting that Turki Al-Sheikh will run Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren out of business. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.